with a better deal, so going down. Well, I sing 'em real pretty, sing 'em real sad, and all the people in the crowd say they ain't happy. Where they come, kings heard of you don't sit around if you want you can have the crown. Well, I've been sitting on my ass like a bump on the log, watching Annie and old boss talking. And so thought I'd get up and go out and find a job. Instead of sitting on the couch trying to find my next line, I'm sure there's gotta be a better use for my time. Like figuring out which one of them banks am I gonna go around. But the name of the game is hurry up and wait. But that ain't putting no food on my plate, the gas in my car, and I drive a Bronco. Well, no, if I could just give me a record deal, I might not have to worry about my next meal, but I still be trying to figure out what the fuck rhymes with Bronco. But now, Lord, if you can heal me, won't you throw a damn dog a bone? 'Cause if a devil shows up with a better deal, it's also going down. Well, I sing 'em real pretty, sing 'em real sad, and all the people in the crowd say they ain't happy. Where they call me kings, heard of you on shit mountain. If you wanted to have the crown. Where they call me.
What is up, party people in the place to be? Boys and girls, podcast fans of all ages. How you doing? I'm Dave Valente. Thank you for joining us on the Political Deep Dive. Joined this week by, in black screen, AJ. Hi, AJ.
Can you hear me?
Dude, it's
I can hear you.
inappropriate.
Yes.
It is inappropriate for cultural appropriation to be in black strip.
It's really odd
Oh.
because I was here a minute ago.
I know you were
You're
here
still
a minute
here.
ago.
You are still here. You're
The
just
disembodied voice of AJ.
I'm okay with being a disembodied voice until it comes back.
There you go.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
It
Also
always
joining
does.
us, hey, is Ari. Ari, how you doing tonight?
hey, I am doing.
You're doing. All right. Yeah, I feel that. And Dan, the man fishman from Tell Government. Remember, with Tell Government, send a senator a picture of your junk.
Let me point out that we do have a specific thing on our site that says we will happily cooperate with law enforcement if you are violating laws set out by the U.S. Postal Service.
I will violate laws all the damn time.
Well, here's the thing. Now, you could do it very
I don't know what's wrong
symbolically
with the camera.
by taking a picture of actual junk and say,
Yeah,
"Dear Senator, I've sent you a picture of my junk."
I've done that when you know a female friend of mine will complain that some dude sent her a picture of their junk. I will send them a DM of a picture of a junkyard and an unsolicited picture of my junk
Yeah.
to them as a joke. In solidarity. I'm kidding, ladies. I don't ever send pictures of junk.
I did this to
Other
one
than
guy
real jokes.
that decided
quality
that he
names.
wanted to be able to send me said picture. Um, and I started to be able to make fun of it, and I sent him a picture of spotted dick.
Nice.
Nice.
I have
Very
a picture
good.
of that on my phone.
And then he asked to see my ass, and so I showed him a picture of an ass.
There you go. All right. I mean, hey, that's it's just cool. So I don't understand why that happens. Like, does that work?
Nope.
I it has to
I
have worked
have.
at some point for people to continue to do that, other than the
Okay, can I
uh,
give you a statistic? I feel like I feel like
do it,
this is my area of
do it.
expertise.
Yes.
What?
As a former urology nurse, I have seen literally hundreds. I have only once been like, oh, by one, like, damn, by one, one out of hundreds. So it is highly unlikely that you sending a picture of your junk to anyone is going to be like, yeah. So I'm
The thing is, you
just
have to.
saying.
I agree with HA. Think about the people who are sending it, though. Overwhelmingly,
I'd
they're
rather
men.
not.
Overwhelmingly, they're men. Not all the time, but most of the time. And so when they send pictures, right, they're thinking, well, this would work with me.
Well, that says a whole different.
I mean,
That's a
that's
whole
kind of
different other
gay.
conversation. Yeah, that's a whole different other
It
conversation.
totally is. But well, you could send them boob if they're thinking, I wish people would send me pictures of boobs. I'm spending
I would
hours
be.
online.
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't be super offended if
There's
someone sent me a picture
I
of their
don't know
boobs.
that I've
Or
ever been disappointed seeing a boob, on the other hand.
well,
yeah, this is true.
I mean, normally,
Boobs are magnificent.
They
I don't
are.
think I've
I
ever
would
been
I would
disappointed.
welcome an unsolicited boob pic.
Just saying.
Boob or vagina pictures. I don't. I mean, like I've never had unsolicited.
well,
Like,
what?
like women don't do that.
No, that's not true.
Oh look,
I
Dan's
mean,
been getting some unsolicited pictures.
Some
I
women
well,
do that, and they're just
I have
weird.
I have received a few unsolicited lingerie photos.
Lingerie is what I mean. If it's covered, it's covered.
Yeah, it's covered, but I mean it's at least for me, it's relatively the same thing. And these were people who knew that I was married. Um, it's a weird way to try to say something that could
Yeah.
be said in a much more eloquent fashion, and would honestly do better if it were said in that manner.
Say it in words. Use your big.
Okay,
person
I'm
words.
sorry, Jesus. I won't do it again.
Now that's
I will
funny.
There you go.
I will say on Grinder,
You didn't send it to me. That was just no. I meant
I will say I had previously been on Grinder for a little while just to
right.
like
Did Senator Graham send you his junk?
no.
Well,
It would have been an interesting story.
But there are a lot of photos of junk that people put up there so you can browse them on Grinder, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think that is part and parcel for what
Gay
people are
pickup
looking
culture.
for on. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and
my
just
understanding is
for
it's not a
Grindr
lot
itself.
of pages.
Yep. My
But-
I'll
If it's
tell
a
you
hookup site, I can see that. Like if,
I was
it's,
gonna
if
say,
it's specifically for hookups, I mean,
two stories. Friend of mine was an administrator for the database for an earlier version of Grinder called Manhole, and it was
I remember Manhole.
it was really early, but they were charging $20 a month for a subscription, and people were paying it
that's an
before
expensive manhole.
Hell
it
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
But it was before Grinder was free, and so if you think $20 a month for as many hookups as I want, and you're a single person, then you're like, yeah, it's clearly worth it.
I mean, single, non-monogamous.
Well, if you're a person who's into hookups, $20 a month, yeah, you're right. Single is people whatever they want to do. But regarding the idea of boobs and them not being offensive, there's a classic joke. Real estate agent takes a guy out. He's in Hollywood. She's like, I've got this place for you in the Hollywood Hills. She's like, it has the most amazing view of the city. He's like, well, how much is it? She's like, the price is steep. It's $20 million, but the view is amazing. He said, For $20 million, I better see boobs pressed up against the window every morning.
It's a Dan.
It's a Dan joke.
It is a
Dan
Dan
joke.
joke.
Salud.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Prost.
Well, the topic this week is it's sabotage. We
Chaim.
talked about this
You
before. And I
mean
know
it's
that I've,
not penises and boobs?
well, I mean,
I mean,
we can
apparently
continue to
there's
talk about
probably
that.
underage that in the White House.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
I know I've talked about this before, and I've said this line before. If you were going to sabotage a whole ass country, would it look fundamentally different than what we're seeing right now? In fact,
Ooh.
today we saw news where Trump put on Pravda Social that because of his friendship with Kim Jong Un, he's going to stop U.S. military exercises with South Korea. Now, my premise of this show is that Trump has done things in every facet of American life to throw us, to sabotage this country economically, politically, diplomatically, culturally, and militarily. I'll go through some of the stuff that I see as troubling with this administration and what we're seeing with it and how we're being sabotaged at this point.
I really do believe, I mean, I really did believe for a long time that Trump was actually a plot to have Hillary Clinton win the presidency in 2016. Bill
No,
and
I
Hillary
agree with you on that.
and Donald Trump,
Oh yeah,
good friends, right? They convince the DNC, the Clintons convince the DNC to promote Donald Trump so that he gets the Republican nomination.
how many times did Donald Trump appear on MSNBC
So many times.
during the 2015 build up to the primaries and throughout the primaries and through the election? They just propped him up until he got the nomination.
Right, which is crazy because, I mean, I don't know that Jeb Bush could have won.
Please clap.
But there were other candidates that looked reasonable. I mean, Marco Rubio.
Up until you see Marco Rubio today.
Right, exactly.
Marco Rubio today is the most unhappy stooge for the regime ever.
He thinks that there's a payoff at the end.
There isn't.
Well, no, he thinks he's going to be the anointed one.
Yeah, he thinks he's going to
go.
president.
He's going to leapfrog JD Vance for
Yeah,
the Republican
but
nomination.
They hate Hispanics.
I don't know. I mean, as far as they're concerned, Rubio's one of the good ones. That's the code phrase they like to use. But also, he is.
That would sell him down the river in a heartbeat.
Well,
but
it's funny because there was a big. We had a talk about this, and I want to circle back to everything you think that Trump is doing. But Donald Trump posted a picture of him and Melania, and then El Sayed, who is the nominee, the Democratic nominee for Senate in Michigan,
Yes.
and his wife,
Yes.
who was wearing a hijab.
Yep.
And it should be pointed out, his wife is not Arabic. But I posted, I would never vote for either of them, but I would much rather live in El Said's America than I would as a Jew, than I would to be a Mexican in Donald Trump's America.
Sure, or really any
Yes.
any brown ethnicity.
Yep.
In Donald Trump's America.
Yep. So tell me about your sabotage plans. Hey, AJ.
Yeah. So, let's take it piece by piece. So let's talk economically. How has Donald Trump sabotaged the United States economically? And this is legion. We can start with his tariffs. And even though he's tacoed out on a lot of the tariffs, the idea of charging more to bring products in, as making another country pay for to balance trade is every time I hear that, I'm like, what do they teach at Wharton Big Business School? Because
Not
it sounds
that.
like it sounds like nothing that is good economic policy. This is shit that was debunked in the 1800s. Not so much should have survived into the 1900s and then moved on into this century. Quite honestly, the tariffs have been awful. And then in February of this year, we started a war that has impacted not only gas prices but food prices. Not only are we seeing gas pumps dry up, our lowest levels of petroleum in decades, but we're also seeing lower yields of the fertilizers, because that is a large source of fertilizers is Iran for our crops and world
What is your
crops.
gas right now?
It's stinky.
Mine's
I mean, it's well, like 370 at this point.
Ours has been over at, if not over $4. The top I've ever seen is like 475. It's not good. And
Yeah.
then, like, I know that where I was living in Pennsylvania, there is a good portion of the place that's over 5.
Yeah, I'm looking on Gas Buddy right now, and my neck of the woods is about $4.
Yeah.
It was 419 the other day.
Right. I
I-
mean, Denver, you pay a hefty transport fee as opposed to
We
the
didn't
coast.
go up for a long time, which was interesting. It was higher in Tennessee for a while than it was here. But now
Randy
we've
says
swapped,
over
which
5
is
in the
huge.
Phoenix area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, 373 at Wawa in White Plains is the closest to me.
Yeah. It's funny. People think that West Virginia has a better cost of living on a lot of things, but honestly, I get better price of fuel. And it's really just the Eastern Panhandle that gets screwed in this, and I think it's because of distributors and the rules like that. But the rest of West Virginia is not too bad, but in the Eastern Panhandle, we're actually more expensive than Maryland gas. So I usually go up into Maryland to get my gas.
Right.
Jeez.
For work. It's
Like
Although-
Cumberland?
Dave, you're in
Hagerstown.
Martinsburg. You're in Martinsburg, right?
north of Martinsburg, yes.
Do you know where Rudders is?
Yeah, Rutgers. It's opposite of the area that I go to. So,
Rudders is currently $3.29 a gallon.
ooh, I
According
wonder
to
if it's
Gas
kind of
Buddy.
that Sheets has like this E88 gas that
Yeah. Oh,
is generally
that's
pretty cheap.
that's almost certainly what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean,
What
at a
are you,
pinch.
what are you driving? You don't have you're not driving a sports car.
No, I'm driving a Chevy Equinox.
Yeah. So whatever. But I agree that
One of my favorite
E88,
Styx albums, by the way.
E85. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm
Well,
looking.
I meant in a lot of Europe right now, like they've been investing in not just like alternative vehicles, but then building up their infrastructure for trains and for like metro systems. And they've made it so that like even in smaller cities and towns, the infrastructure is as such you can end up walking everywhere. Here is just so spread out. We don't
Yeah, the public transportation system. I mean, unless you're in like a big city,
Yeah.
is kind of invisible. And even in big cities, like I
Yeah,
remember
no,
living in
even
New York
big
City,
cities
or
suck.
not New York City, but in DC. If you wanted to go somewhere, it was you kind of had to get ready for a
My
journey of
boys
1,000
use
miles.
public transportation.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I liked the metro in DC, but there were times that it was cumbersome. It was
There-
a hot
there is
tube of
a-
death sometimes.
There's a website called metroonfire.com.
Oh,
I remember.
I
remember those.
actually, and when the Silver Line was a few years into its existence, do you remember some of the fires that were on the Silver Line, Dan?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, somebody made a lot of money. What they did is they had a computer that just read Twitter, and it looked for a hashtag Metro and then a line. And what is it? WMATA is their actual thing.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
if it saw that, it would just put it on their website, and so you would see fire reported Silver Line the station, 3 o'clock, whatever. I mean, it was a real website.
Yeah, no, it was a
But
unsucked DC Metro is another one that featured a
but
lot of that stuff.
the Metro isn't terrible.
No.
I mean, I don't think there's any terrible subway system in the United States. I mean, I haven't been on
Atlanta.
all Atlanta. I didn't realize Atlanta had one.
Yeah, they built it for
Atlanta's-
the '96 Olympics, and it's a cross essentially. It goes north, south, east, west, and really, if you wanted to go anywhere that's not downtown Atlanta or the airport,
Yeah,
not really much use of the
interesting.
metro there.
But it's not bad for the airport.
Yeah. If you are living along those lines, yeah, it's not bad for the airport.
Interesting.
If you're in the hinterlands, it kind of sucked, and they always resisted putting more metro lines, MARTA lines as they called it, in the rest of because, well, the semi-racist statement of it brings crime. Like I
Right.
never saw a dude with a TV and a box of jewels riding metro, riding the Atlanta Metro. You're not going to do that. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
JB has a point. Like free trade has been so squashed with this administration. Like we don't it's been so hard to be able to get this administration to understand that free trade is a great thing. Like if
because-
he wanted to be able to lower prices, he needs to be able to open the markets and not close them.
well,
But
I heard
but
JD.
Dom, go ahead.
Well, I heard JD Vance today talking about how we should get
I'm
rid
sorry.
of the U.S. as the reserve currency because it will raise
Oh my
prices because
What a fucking
Americans are
moron.
too used to paying for cheap products. And I'm like,
What?
what? Are you
It's-
did you really think about this before you just spouted
Well-
that one out?
we didn't.
the problem is, of course, that they have no interest in free trade because
No.
free trade means actual competition.
Yeah.
And they believe in the robber baron theory, the insider trading theory, the idea that, the
Absolute
whole
corruption
purpose.
theory.
Do you remember when
Yeah.
people went to jail for that?
Yeah. I mean,
Martha
She-
Stewart remembers.
she shanked a bitch while she was in jail. Um,
I would have.
the
Go
the,
Martha.
Making commissary brownies. What you talking about?
Nikki Glazer had a great line at the roast of. It wasn't the roast of Martha Stewart, but Martha Stewart was there, and she said, the thing about Martha Stewart, I'm a little bit scared of her. You think about her in prison, though, like, I mean, it wouldn't be terrible to be Martha Stewart's bitch, like, because she has such attention to detail.
Yes.
Not just that, I bet she ended up making whatever she had in prison this absolute delicious course.
Oh my God,
she
yeah.
could
That-
she could do
her prison. Yeah, her prison ramen would have been off the fucking chain.
Yeah, her ramen was epic.
Yeah, there is
They would've
that
had
classic meme of her and Snoop and saying only one of them is a convicted felon.
Uh-huh.
You know,
I remember
I-
the trial.
I just want to say briefly, we were talking about public transit. It's another thing that Trump has undermined.
Yeah.
Yes,
he cut the
very much.
budget from Amtrak from essentially in half for long distance routes.
Which is idiotic.
He has cut grants to cities to expand their public transportation. And of course, the biggest one, right? He ended the subsidies, and let's be clear, not actually subsidies, but for electric cars.
Yeah.
He has stopped companies from building out battery plants.
And here's my premise with all of this: that, and I know from a libertarian perspective, that I think some will say that this is not a bad thing, but I think the cruelty is the point, and the cruelty is to get people to no longer rely on government services. But it's not so we don't pay as much in taxes. This is so that those funds are available to pay off my cronies or to stuff into my own bank accounts.
You know,
I think
Yeah,
that's
like
the
how many
point of this
billions has like companies that he controls or
or his
companies
kids are on the board of. How
Yeah,
much did they
exactly.
complain about fucking Hunter Biden and getting a few $1 million from a Ukrainian
Hunter
company?
Biden's laptop.
Yeah, well, no, the money he got from that Ukrainian company, which okay, we could say maybe that was also unethical as well. But how much has been funneled to Donald Trump's kids by
Yeah.
not only this administration but his previous
I mean,
administration as well?
no, there's nobody who's been even close.
No, no.
I mean, the crypto thing was such an enormous
Cash grab.
annulment. But the other thing, obviously, the hotels, all the golf clubs, all these other places where people could have huge events, and Trump profits from them.
Well,
It's crazy.
yeah, and another way that he's screwed with us economically is not only the tariffs, are a dumb idea, but the economic uncertainty that comes with the tariff pronouncements that he's had, where he's tacoed on
Yeah.
a bunch of them. The problem is markets really do love consistency and
Yeah.
certainty. I think they thrive in that. So when you have things like free trade agreements, there's some level of certainty on how the economy will continue to function. And by doing what he's done, he's thrown all of this into a maelstrom of stupidity, and the markets are responding predictably about.
All right, and what's crazy about that is that the best resource, the thing that really, and I'm not a person that believes in American exceptionalism, but I believe in the
Yeah.
exceptional capacity of the market here over other places. Every time a huge crisis comes up that we don't know what it means for the economy, that shit has hit the fan, there's always Americans out there who want to hustle and make a buck and figure out how to do it. And like, you think about like COVID, right? Very quickly, people are like, people want to drink. Let's figure out how we have delivery alcohol so that people can have drinks at their houses.
Well,
I
New
have
Orleans, we had the to-go cups because we are the best state in terms of our laws on alcohol.
Fair. AJ, what were you going to say?
um back when okay, back in the day, like the week of 9/11. So
Yep.
around at that time, my brother, my oldest brother, Randy, owned a gas station, or like a chain of a gas station or whatever, and everybody else was jacking up their prices. Like everybody, like there were no planes in
Yep.
the sky, but gas prices were going up. My brother put his down to 92 cents a gallon.
Wow.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
So,
Did he
it,
profit?
well, I mean, he sold out and then had to get
it,
refilled, but he kept it at 92 cents a gallon while everybody else stayed,
and, you
highest
know,
gases we'd ever seen.
and, and that is the thing about it, is that when we have the freedom for people to start up businesses, to work a hustle, to work a side hustle, whatever it is, people always come up with a way to make a solution. And,
Sure.
in many ways, COVID transformed the American economy in an interesting way. You can argue it's good, you can argue it's bad. We're much more of a service based economy, and specifically a delivery based economy than we ever have been. But it's an interesting transition, and I think about that a lot with what's happening with AI, and there is an incredible amount of uncertainty out there. I can't tell you what I think is going to happen, but what I do know what's going to happen is that people are going to find ways to hustle and to do things. Like, one of the things that I've seen very recently is that people have been using Amazon e-publishing and Google AI to solicit. They ask people, tell me what would be nice on on your calendar. Tell me the photos. Tell me the quotes. Tell me the thing you want. Blah blah blah. Blah. They use AI. They create it. They say, "Do you like this?" You say, "Yes." Here you go. It's for sale right now for $9 on Amazon. They make a buck, and they
Amazon
sell.
makes 8. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a printer and all that other stuff involved
No,
in
I
it. But
get
yeah, that's essentially the essence of it. And I don't know what the exact numbers are, but people are finding ways to use AI in their side gigs and their hustles, stuff like that.
We are, but I mean, I think the concern right now, and especially for when it comes to AI and comes to the economy that we live in right now, is that how many jobs do you need to work to be able to afford your
Yeah.
rent or
You're-
I
you're-
mean,
your
it's
home note?
exhausting working multiple jobs.
Yeah.
It is.
I
It
worked
is.
multiple
And what kind of
jobs
life
until
is
we
that?
moved here, and like Charlie works a job.
I can't argue with that. The best thing that I hope for that comes out of it is that if we really have a free market, a lot of things are going to become a lot cheaper. You know, one of the things that COVID exposed was we didn't realize that things have been getting cheaper because of inflation and because of
Exactly.
real advances in the supply chain. So,
Yeah.
you know, there were things nearby. When those things all broke, then we saw how expensive things really were. I have a feeling that, you know, if, you know, let's talk about, you know, there's a word, right? It's the D word. We're talking about deflation.
Big D
Okay.
energy.
Yeah, big D energy. Exactly. That is the big D energy. Deflation is when, you know, the currency has less value because the fundamental thing backing it has less value. If people are making less money, currency has less value.
Yeah.
It just
Well,
does.
does it come to a point like almost a reversed Atlas Shrugged, where the workers shrug and the system collapses?
It's interesting. So we had this conversation. I mean, probably the most libertarian thread I wrote on today was where somebody was criticizing Star Trek for being socialist. And
I mean, it is socialist.
Did you
well,
watch the show?
but it actually isn't socialist. They have a world with no scarcity, and but everything's voluntary, and it's
Oh,
an
kinda.
interesting idea about what is into that. Like, we got into this pretty deep. I'll save you guys a shortcut.
Oh, I mean, what about the Maquis? The Maquis didn't want to participate within the society, and they got the, not that they were great, but they ended up getting the short end of the stick on a lot of stuff.
I would say that in the Federation itself, in Star Trek, you can't find episodes where people are using coercion to say you have to work this job, you can't have this private business, et cetera, et cetera. There's lots of examples of, right? Cisco has a restaurant, the Picards have a vineyard, all sorts of private businesses. Hell, Harcourt Fenton Mudd, you know, had a sex worker business.
Quarks.
Yep.
Well, I
Those
mean,
are-
Quark is Ferengi. Quark is
Yeah.
a pure unadulterated capitalist.
Living in a Federation base.
Base.
So
Female.
Yeah, he's living in the Federation ecosystem. I cannot deny that. Anyway, but so
Everyone's
you're
dork
right
is
that-
hanging out right now.
I was
talk
like,
about-
we were just like,
I'm going to bring it back to Trump, though. That when we talk
King
about
dork. King dork.
yeah the what Trump is doing to undermine the United States, the biggest thing that he's done is to take away the free market. And you can look at a
Yes.
perfect example of that at the reflecting pool in D.C.
No
Where
bid contract.
No big contract. Yeah.
yeah, no bid
the
contract
deflecting pool.
to his friend. Right, the deflecting pool. That's a great title. I don't know why people haven't been
I
saying
did
that.
not come up with it. My friend Molly at Optimistic Soap
Yep.
came up with it. Go get some soap from her.
Molly,
She's
you're
lovely.
beautiful.
Molly, that's fantastic. Yeah, optimisticsoap.com.
She's in Portland. She uses all local stuff. She doesn't order from Amazon or anything for any of her products.
So if you want to smell like Portland,
Is she in Portland?
get some optimistic stuff.
She is in
I-
Portland,
I
yes.
bet you. I bet you it
Port-
smells good though.
Portland has an amazing blackberry
Yes.
in the middle of the city. And it's interesting because blackberries are declared by the government as a level 3 noxious weed. And so Portland went on a rampage trying
Racist.
to eliminate them in public spaces. But the reason that they did it was because homeless people ate them. And so they're like, oh, we don't want homeless people here, so we're going to destroy their
again,
food source.
war on homeless. Yeah, yeah.
You know, so I want I want to take a. Let's finish this up. I'm going to write something down because I want to
But
talk
we're
about
going to
something
talk.
later.
Well, we can also talk about politically how we can, because this is what's coming up on us. That we've had a lot of the norms and things of politics. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but we're also coming up on an election here in almost 80 days.
Oh, you're so optimistic.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Are we going to have the election? That is that is a legit question. And the more that you hear them talk, the less likely it sounds like. It's more likely it sounds that they're going to find some reason not to do either not to do the election, or to do the election and declare it illegal that the cheating happened.
Well,
Antifa.
Mr. My Pillow guy
like
lost by a million
transgender Antifa.
points and
Right.
still says that
Yeah.
his was, every
Right.
Republican that loses a race now, they're like, oh, well, that was
But
bad.
it was
faulty
the fucking
counting or
Republican
something.
primary.
Yes, it was a fucking Republican primary, and that you
Exactly.
lost, and nobody likes you. Like nobody really likes Mike
Nobody
Lindell
likes you.
outside of Donald Trump. Nobody's really down with the 1488 pillow guy. Like,
Yeah. On the other hand, we are down with OCP.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
or
know
no,
me.
ICP.
AJ,
I got you, man. I got you.
I appreciate it.
I meant juggalos are the salt of the earth. They are
are.
fantastic people.
They are
there is
just don't take the Fanta.
the
Whoop, whoop.
undermining of the free market is the worst of all things because the Republicans used to be the only defenders of the free market.
Well, not the only, and really, it was lip service that they gave to the free market. Like that, they would always talk about being small government conservatives.
Yeah,
they never ever did anything.
But they elected a few. They elected a Goldwater. They elected.
Well, they nominated Goldwater. They did not elect. He did not.
No. I mean, he was elected as a senator.
Senator, yeah.
Yeah. But you could compare and contrast it to the other idea of a truly managed economy, which, that's been out there. And now, I mean, it's really out there, right? I mean, that is,
We
the
have
state.
managed to.
Well,
We're going
no.
towards that.
I mean, Donald Trump is managing this economy poorly, but he's managing this economy.
Right. I mean, you see some cities doing, the managed economy stuff, making Uber illegal, stuff like that. And I mean,
New York City.
Well, New York City. I put this
Yeah.
out there this week that, if you are so concerned about New York City opening grocery stores,
I'm glad you brought this up.
It's an underserved community. There are food deserts in.
Oh no,
New York
that
City.
I don't have a problem with at all. It's some of the other stuff.
Compete with the Mamdani store.
Yeah, but that's not the point. They're not there because they know it's not profitable to have a store in that place. And what they're objecting to is that these food desert stores are going to lose money and be funded by the taxpayer.
Sure, they're probably going to be funded by the taxpayer.
But I would make an
don't
argument.
just ignore it. Well, why is it not profitable? Because you are charging. Well, let's put it this way: if you open a store in Manhattan or in the Bronx, and you're not charging enough to make a profit.
Yeah.
Because labor's more expensive in DC or in New York City. The cost
Delivery
of living
costs
is far
are much more
more
expensive.
expensive. Delivering into the city is very expensive. You're not charging the market rate, and so
right.
The economics is still not going to be with the Mamdani stores in the long run. In that, yes, they can use taxpayer money to an extent, but they don't have a finite. It's not like they can print money in New York City. And they can't rely on New York State to fund New York City's grocery stores for long. So eventually, there's still the issue that you need to charge the market price for the market that you're in.
Right. Well, I mean that's or you need to come up with a way to subsidize it, which is the Mamdani
But you
concept,
again,
right? I mean,
it's finite. You can't subsidize it to
well,
unlimited levels.
you can't subsidize it to unlimited levels, but you look at this tax that's proposed on the real estate, right?
Sure.
That and for people who don't know, there's a tax that's proposed on apartments, condos, houses, etc., that aren't people's primary residence. That is, I don't know, it's 4% if it's under $1 million, and more than that if it costs more than that. Somebody can look it up and tell me what the exact numbers are. But the idea behind it is pretty reasonable. That, and I don't want to say reasonable that I support, but reasonable, rational, that I can understand the motivation behind it,
Sure.
which is that
Yes.
they don't want people to use housing spaces as investments and therefore deny them to the people who actually need places to live. That's the rationale behind it. Now, what they don't say is that they could also just solve this, because scarcity is a problem that is easy to solve. You could just let them build a lot of apartments, a lot of housing.
But there's
they're
nowhere to
building,
build
but they're
more
building.
houses.
Well,
There-
no,
there
there
is-
is places, but
yeah.
they're what ends up being is more gentrification, where they're taking, older buildings and creating these kind of weird ass skyscrapers that are, the pay,
But-
the buy-in in these places is multiple millions of dollars. So, the
Right.
average New Yorker is not going to be getting into these spaces.
Right, but it
No.
is. If you look
So-
in like Queens, Brooklyn, areas like that, Manhattan's pretty dense. But Brooklyn is filled with 3-story tall single families.
So here's the tax rate for the property threshold.
Right.
So 1 million to 3 million, it's 4%. 3 million to 5 million, it's 5.25, and over 5 million, it's 6.5%. And
So
right now they are looking at approximately 17,000 houses that they just ended up sending property tax warning letters to.
the problem, they're just to go into it, and there's a couple problems with it. One, how do you prove whether or not it's somebody's primary residence?
You can't.
Is it 6 months? Is it 4 months? Is somebody who's deployed on active duty not a primary resident? That part gets somewhat confusing. And then the other issue with it is that it's completely ridiculous, because people who money always finds a way, right? So
Always.
yeah, if you have to say, okay, well,
I
I'm
think-
going to keep this as a resident, as a place, and I'm going to say that my cousin is living there.
Yeah. Well, I think how they're going to end up doing it is everyone is going to be a primary resident, and then they're going to send the bills, and then they're going to make you prove that it's not a primary resident. So it's a kind of guilty
I've
until
never
proven innocent.
owned
Right.
multiple homes, but I feel like you probably have to list your primary residence on your taxes anyway. I'm
Well,
just saying, as a
Well,
poor,
I mean, we had, like, as a kid, I ended up having we ended up having a house in Virginia, and then we had another house in Louisiana and New Orleans. And yeah, we did have to declare one of them, but we pretty evenly split our time between the two. So
Yeah.
it's like I can see some of the issues, because, like, when we were having to have those two spaces, like, we had to choose, and, like, Louisiana was somewhere to be able to help out with my grandmother and my great grandmother and my uncle.
yeah.
And then
It-
like it's
the interesting thing about it is that, there's dancing around the problem. Why not just say over $1 million, 3% property tax, over $5 million, 6% property tax, whatever they want. Why do this fiddling around? Because if you're living in a $6 million house, that's what it's worth. That's what the city would like to be collecting in terms of taxes.
Sure.
The problem, of course, is that it's not politically expedient.
no.
And that's where the issue is.
Yeah.
is that there's a lot of people who live in nice places, and let's be fair, over $1 million is not much in New York City.
No, it
I
isn't.
I have a
New
friend.
York City.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I have
I
a
can't
friend.
New
hear it unless it's
York.
that dude from the commercial.
Yep,
Yeah.
I have a
I
Thanks,
love
friend
it.
Johnny.
who, he's not a wealthy guy by any stretch of the imagination. He's an art professor at Hunter University, and his wife is a social worker. But they have jobs, and 20 years ago they said it's going to kill us, but let's just buy a brownstone,
Oh
buy
God.
one in terrible shape, and we'll spend time redoing blah 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 blah. Well, there they are, and now these two people who are lovely people. I made a special point. I don't like to visit anybody, but I made a special point when I went to New York to visit Dave.
Oh, thanks. Oh,
Other Dave. See, case in point, I don't go visit this Dave,
yeah, I know. Shit.
Aren't y'all
unless
close though? Like,
unless
Yeah,
there's
y'all.
a
The two of them
There's a
are not that far
colonoscopy.
away from one
unless
another.
there's a colonoscopy, then I'm there. But it was a holier than thou moment. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Damn. Everything
anyway,
worked out in the end this week, though.
but it's
I
good.
meant your end.
We do want to hear about that. But anyway, suddenly this guy's a millionaire. Because his property is worth more than $1 million because he lives
Well,
in
I
New
mean,
York City.
I hear that because people who complain about gentrification, what happens is people start buying in these neighborhoods, and all of a sudden the property taxes go up because the valuation of that property goes up, and these
Yep.
people who have lived there for generations can't maintain. I mean, this is a time honored tradition of
Yeah. Well, and
cities that
you see it, and I mean, lots of people see it because DC is capped.
oh yeah,
DC really is capped. You
It
can't
is.
build over a certain height, etc.
like
And
Charleston.
so they
unless
can't.
it's your-
Yeah, they're not going to put more housing in DC. So what's happening is that people are expanding, and particularly they're expanding in my neck of the woods, Prince George's County,
No.
other
They're coming out
places
here,
like
too.
that. Yeah, exactly, and they're coming out there too, and they are doing that exact thing of gentrification.
Yeah.
They're driving up the prices, stuff like that, and so your house that you bought at whatever, Dave, is probably worth at least 50% more now.
It's
Well,
getting not quite there, but yeah,
when
it's up
we ended up
until they build
living
it
in
big.
California, we had gotten the house in New Orleans, and the half that we lived on, next to my grandmother, the whole house was built in the early 1900s. And so when we had it assessed, before we ended up leaving, because, well, Katrina, um um before all of that, like um it used to be affordable, and it's
Yeah.
happening all over because
Yeah.
a friend of
Yep.
mine
Well,
bought a
everywhere, yeah.
house. A friend of
But-
mine bought a house at $100,000, and they turn around and the neighborhood starts to get gentrified, and now they have a house that's worth $750,000.
Yeah,
And that is all caused by government.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's all zoning. One of the things that you see happen in some places, my my son lives south of Denver, and he has a spot of land that is not what's the word called when it's part of a city?
Suburb.
No. There's a legal term for it. Jesus. Fucking senility.
Municipal utility district.
No. There's a real word. It'll come to me anyway. But unincorporated. It's unincorporated land.
Okay.
And so he has built a collection of small houses on there, and so lots of people can come and they can buy a tiny house, and it is not a great deal because it's a tiny house, but it's not a terrible deal, and you're not paying rent anymore. And everybody understands that basic part of the philosophy that if you're not paying rent, right? The money that you were paying is actually a mortgage. You get that back when you sell, as opposed
And
to
generally,
rent, which,
mortgages. I mean, if you can get a decent rate, a mortgage is going to be cheaper than local rent. Like my
yeah,
my
for sure.
house, my mortgage is far cheaper than the 3-bedroom apartment that's up the hill from us. That
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
But if you try to set up something like that, thank you, Janice, for getting unincorporated. If you get if you try to do that in a major metropolitan area, or really any place that's incorporated, and say, okay, we want to build, no, completely illegal to build tiny houses.
All right, well let's get
Yep.
back into the
Where'd we go?
discussion at hand.
Yeah, because the big thing I want to talk about, then the second worst thing you could do is to throw away all the goodwill and bad will, and I'll explain that in a second, that a nation has accumulated.
Yes.
Goodwill, we had gone to great lengths and spent a fortune, by anybody else's definition of the word, except for Americans,
Yep.
on creating soft power.
Yes.
Doing things, being the people who were there, and let's separate two things out of it too. Okay, first of all, unquestionably, Americans are the most generous people on the planet. Anytime there is a disaster anywhere around the world, individual American donors give more than any country or anything else. When the government gets involved, and you look at like the huge world disasters,
Yep.
the tidal wave in Indonesia, Fukushima, right? A modern Japan is a first world country, but you know who came in there immediately afterwards? The United States. The USS Ronald Reagan sailed into Fukushima 12 hours after the reactor let go. Friend of the show, Jeff Lyons, was on there and got radiation poisoning from being there. So to throw all that away, and then our bad stuff, right? We were the dominant military power. The Americans could do things that nobody else could. And you look at Iraq, you look at Kuwait, you look at American engagements, Grenada, however far you want to go back, we had been unbelievably good at doing things militarily when we had to. And yet, here we are in a situation, I don't know if you guys saw this, the Iranians made a public statement where they called for the Americans to just give up and accept that they lost. They're like,
I
"Your
did not see that, but I would
That
like
is
for that. I would like for us to just do
fantastic.
that as well. We
Yeah.
need to just fucking leave. We're only gonna stay over there and fuck it up some more.
Yeah, I mean, and that what they literally said, stop acting like a big baby. You lost this war. Get out. Get
Yeah,
out. Don't make it worse.
The folks over there are miserable. They don't have soap. They don't have food. They don't have feminine hygiene products. So what does that mean? Bitches are free bleeding.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be like, they signed up for that? No, they fucking didn't. No,
Yeah.
they fucking didn't.
Yep. It is.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
diplomacy. One of the. If you had told me in 2001, after the September 11th attacks, that within 25 years we will have threatened Canada, we will have threatened Greenland,
Oh, right.
Mexico.
and that we were
Denmark,
looking
or-
at walking away from NATO, I'd have been like, "You are absolutely crazy. What the hell has happened?" And well, Donald Trump has happened.
And
Donald
how many
Trump
food
wants to-
groups are recalled right now?
Yeah, I mean, Donald
So
Trump
many
has,
food groups.
Donald Trump is
All
has,
of them. All of the
you
food
know,
groups.
undermined our diplomatic relations throughout the world. You know, this goes part and parcel with our free trade, because that is a diplomatically, diplomatic agreements come, with our free trade. But our alliances and the people that he cozies up to, like today, talking about Kim Jong-un being his great friend, how he backs Viktor Orban, or backed the former leader, Viktor Orban.
Do you ever think
Um,
these people are also watching that on the news going, uh-uh?
Vladimir Putin. Yeah, you think Jim knows? We not friends?
He's not real. Like that's not right.
That would be so funny if we were to come out with
They're
that.
like, that's not my friend. Like, what's he
Kim
talking
Jong Un is
about?
like new phone. Who dis?
Maybe since he's friends with Kim Jong Un, he's going to lose something. I don't know. Maybe North Korea. Maybe he'll lose North Korea.
I don't know. Like but the cozying up to dictators, you know, he wants that power. He's often talked about. Well, Kim Jong Un is a strong leader, and when he says something, people do it, and I'd like to have that power here.
Yeah.
No, you do not get that power here.
Exactly. And I just want to briefly say, Canada, that part doesn't surprise me because we've had military conflicts with them over fishing. Doesn't get a lot of press, but in New England, Canadian boats have seized American fishermen. And
we're not going to attack Canada. I mean, the worst fighting between Canada and the United States is during the NHL season.
Exactly.
Like that's the extent of the fighting between Canada and the United States.
It's true.
Think of Canada versus Denmark when it comes to that little small island where they were just put bottles of whiskey and schnapps.
Wait. Wasn't there a big disagreement about Canadian ham? Or am I thinking of a
Canadian bacon is lying because it is just ham. Let's we need to be real about that. Canadian bacon is not bacon.
I only want real bacon. I don't want Canadian bacon.
Bacon. And they don't know how to pronounce the letter O, but I still love Canada. I love Canada.
Yeah,
but,
I love Canada too.
Yeah,
My niece
except for when
is, going to
Bruins
school
play
there.
the
Canadians.
Yeah.
Les habitants.
Yeah.
But in that space, we have lost so much. First of all, through stupidity, Greenland, Canada, lots of places, but then through unbelievable military incompetence in Iran. I mean, it is in many ways the worst campaign in American history.
It's more embarrassing than the fall of Saigon. What is happening right now is far more embarrassing than the fall of Saigon.
It's worse than that. It's worse than Afghanistan, the withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Yes.
I mean, I think you have to find, there are some examples
Which I think we're right at the anniversary of us withdrawing from Afghanistan, which was, I mean, absolutely right. It was a debacle.
Right.
And, 20
complete
years
fuck.
of wasted, and I hate to say wasted because anybody who served and died in Afghanistan did not waste. But
that part isn't wasted, but mismanaged.
Yeah.
I mean, it is absolutely true. You have to find, you have to look, I think, to like some of the really stupid inbred Confederate generals before you can find any examples of anything as stupid as what's happened here. And in this case, it shouldn't be shocking because we appointed a Secretary of Defense who is, literally an idiot. He was in.
I think that's generous. I mean, I think that's insulting.
On drugs.
When you have Karl Rove saying something about how things are functioning, the dude who did a lot of very horrible, extremely questionable things.
Yeah, it's
like,
Karl Rove.
Huh?
It's Karl Rove. I mean, that's all you have to say is Karl Rove.
Yeah.
When you have that guy saying that this is bad, like somebody that awful.
Karl Rove, who to make George Bush win, suggested that John McCain's adopted daughter, that they adopted from India, to suggest that she was actually his secret love child in order to win the race, to win the primary in South Carolina, where he said, well, actually, John McCain had an affair with a black woman, and that's why you shouldn't vote for her. That guy's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. There are so many discussions. I mean, even, what's-his-face, John Bolton, is kind of like skeezy on what we've been doing in Iran. Iran is an absolute...
Good politicians.
Wait, the best thing you can say about it is that Iran makes Vietnam look well managed. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
until our
true.
next
Oh,
war,
God.
especially if we get into another war with. I mean,
Also, wait. Did you say inbred earlier?
Yes.
Did okay? Just checking. Just checking. I was like,
Well, I mean
what?
that
Did that
that's
come out?
that's I mean that's generally
Confederates.
Confederate generals. There's a lot of that. I'm trying to remember who it
The-
is. Somebody's got a comedic routine about how the Southerners fuck their sisters and all that stuff.
All right. So culturally, and this one, I think of American culture, and I think, the big thing here is that we've gotten far too comfortable lately in calling each other epithets.
Yeah.
The casual racism, the casual anti-LGBTQ, especially the anti-trans stuff, is concerning. Just thinking about where we were like 10 years ago. That this country, because of Donald Trump and his legion of supporters, bringing in it felt good that you were getting kind of, no longer using the R word, we were no longer using the N word, and then all of a sudden,
Well,
What do you think? So, if I go away, we are in a thunderstorm right now.
yeah, I'm
That's
hearing
what
it in the background.
Yeah, really?
We had one just a little bit before the show.
So, one of the things I know where you're coming from, Dave, in terms of the epithets, one of the things that certainly has been problematic, and I will apologize for it. Just because you're from West Virginia doesn't mean you're a hillbilly.
I mean,
hillbillies
I
are
don't think
good
hillbilly is
people.
it's not really. I think a lot of people think of it as pejorative. I think, even the term redneck. I mean,
Redneck was
Right.
was usually a supporter of
Yeah.
unions.
Yeah, these people have they're redneck because they were out in the sun working, and they got a redneck from being out in the
Exactly.
sun.
Well,
I
the
think
other one was the
idea.
Kerchiefs.
bolo, was the tie, was the
Sure.
kerchief tie around the neck for the people
Sure.
to show that they were pro union, or
Yeah.
they supported um you know it's
But-
as my friend said, yeehaw, fuck the law.
There you go.
But 100%. You think about one of the darkest days in American history, January 6th, 2021, where an armed mob storms the Capitol looking to commit acts of violence against elected officials. Okay, they find people with zip ties. They're planning to take captives, etc. The government prosecutes some of those people. Excuse me. A little too slowly for me, but
Particularly Donald Trump.
due process. Yeah, right. Exactly. Due process is
Fuck
what
you,
it
Merrick
is.
Garland.
The court system, etc. And then Donald Trump pardons them all and employs them in the federal government.
He employs
his
them,
private
and
army.
he wants to pay them.
Right. He wants to create a fund to pay them back for the time that they
And now
were in jail.
they're doing an end run around that, and they're just privately settling with these folks. Their lawsuits against the federal government for their prosecution after they were pardoned. They're privately settling with them, so we don't have to have a weaponization fund. But they're getting money from the U.S., which we just
Gross.
passed $40 trillion in debt this week. So Mazel Tov.
Yeah, it's insane. The idea that, I mean, it's funny because you think about the power of the purse, and it's not supposed to be in the president's hand.
No.
So, although the president does control the, I don't know what the opposite of the solicitor general is, of the attorney general, but the president does control the judicial branch. Paying the settlements should be the responsibility of Congress.
Should
Now,
be.
that being said, this Congress would vote for it.
Yeah.
But
and I will say that a lot of this stuff, a lot of the problems with the administration are also part and parcel of the fact that
Yeah.
Congress has largely abdicated its responsibilities, and
Yeah.
the Supreme Court has at times done some okay things, and at times have made some just absolutely baffling decisions.
I tell you what is amazing to me is that in spite of how unbelievably unethical these jerks are, they haven't abolished the filibuster.
They haven't, because I think that they understand that there is a time that may be coming soon that Donald Trump is not going to be the president, and
Right.
that a Democrat is in power. And the time may be coming very soon if we're allowed to have an election in December, that the Democrats will have that power. Now, again, still the Democrats could decide
No.
to
Yeah.
get rid of the filibuster the moment they get in. And I know that some Democrats are running on that.
Yeah, I mean, it won't do them any good because the president still have a veto.
Yeah.
And the filibuster has nothing to do with the constitutionally mandated threshold for impeachment.
Yeah.
So Democrats getting rid of the filibuster would be pretty stupid.
It's
I'm
stupid
not,
because
I'm not putting it past them because, good God, they're doing a lot of stupid shit.
Well, they
right
did.
now.
Yeah, they did
Oh,
do.
God.
I mean, they got rid of the filibuster for judicial appointments, and that led
Yep.
to three Supreme
Yep.
Court justices during these last Trump term. So, I mean,
Yep.
I will always say we often create the cudgel with which we are eventually beaten, and the Democrats actually absolutely did that with that judicial filibuster decision.
Now you saw, I mean, very close, but the governor's race for Wisconsin, the DSA candidate who lost, Kelly
Karen
Hong.
Fong or Lily Fong,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Fong.
You fucking racist. I'm just kidding. But full-fledged crazy there, right? It was almost the "I'm not a witch" thing, right? Because she had said that she wanted to abolish Thanksgiving
Yeah,
because it was a colonizer's holiday.
I mean, I get the
Listen,
sentiment.
I understand. Yeah,
But then,
exactly.
like, it was like when they started digging back, it was like every fucking holiday. She was like, "I fucking hate this holiday," like
Yeah,
Halloween.
exactly.
And
I mean,
I get
I
some
don't
of
like
it
them either, but
from her perspective. I think she was in the service industry. I get why not liking holidays, because holidays usually mean long extended hours and all
Right.
the other bullshit. I get that.
And
But
and
the whole doubling down, or
this is a crazy thing to blame on Donald Trump, but I'm going to blame the rise of democratic socialism on Donald Trump.
No, I mean, I will tell you that when you look at things like the robber barons and the Gilded Age,
Yep.
the response to it back then was the
Well,
rise of the socialists.
Absolutely, 100%.
And we've got the Gilded Age 2.0 right now, and
Yep.
we're going right into socialism.
Except
socialism.
that Francis Ford Coppola is not making a beautiful movie about the Trump years and what a complete
Birth of a turd.
Oh my God!
I think it's
just-
going to look like an episode of Cops.
I
That's
don't
what
know.
I hope it looks like.
It's going to be. I mean,
Wouldn't that
I-
be great?
I have
Watching them get like slammed on the ground, colostomy bags squirting out everywhere because
Or
that's what's
watching
going to
like the
happen
end
with
of the
Trump.
movie Civil War. Watching the end of the movie Civil War may be more apt.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I have
I
been
haven't watched that.
thinking about. I also stayed away from Civil
Watch
War.
it.
I just didn't want to see it. Like some things, and I don't know. If this
I think you should see it.
I'm also going to blame this on Trump. I am more emotional and more tender and more shell shocked because of how fucked up everything is.
Oh yeah.
Every day on
Well-
the news, there's something that just makes me go, "What the fuck? How
And-
could it
and-
have come to this?"
How could it have come to this? Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame Trump for the rise of black people being lynched in Mississippi
Oh, my
and that
God.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, it's
long as
like
they
right
go on.
now, I just had to go and read more about, Health and Human Services coming now
Mhm.
after trans healthcare for adults. Not
yeah.
There,
not that it was great that it was going after kids, but like we all saw this coming.
We all
The
said it was
culture
coming.
war.
Exactly.
the culture war is going to be a lasting
Yeah.
stain on this country, uh, it's going to end up being looked at like the
Like slavery.
the 1960s, 50s and 60s, and the end of Jim Crow, and slavery. These are
Yeah.
stains, the Trail of Tears. These are stains on American history that this administration is currently putting on, because of some irrational fear.
And the thing is that we worked so hard, and you want to talk about a loss of blood and treasure? The blood and treasure that we lost to make these social gains to become
Yes.
better people. And
Yes.
God, it was hard fought.
And it doesn't hurt a goddamn person
It's
to be a good
insane.
person.
Right. And you
To-
think
to-
about
Like for people
the
to
other
be
way.
able to use like my pronouns is not an imposition.
yeah,
No.
Like it takes nothing.
right.
No, not
Like-
a damn thing. They keep calling it like the idea of using pronouns, or being accepting of whether they're a Somali or a trans, or it doesn't matter.
Honestly, just
Just-
accepting the word no.
Or,
Yeah.
or women at this point.
Yep, it's
Yes.
completely true. And we worked so hard. I mean, and Dave and I are obviously older than everybody else here, but
Fucking old shit.
we lived through, what we had hoped was the final fight for equal rights for women. Right? I remember when ERA went down in '76, and my mom just saying, how could this happen? And even though the amendment failed, you saw improvements here, improvements there, and we're so far from being done. But we hadn't really made a concerted effort to backslide until
Yeah, we
this
are.
administration.
Yeah, and we are it's like a slip and slide at this.
It's unbelievable to see. I mean, this whole thing of
Dan with the ominous thunder in the background.
exactly. I am speaking from on high right now, and by that I mean I've been really into
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
the liquid THC, and it's awesome.
Nice.
So speaking on high, this idea that somebody defines who is a woman, right? That there's some group out there
Men,
that decides
old white.
how
dude.
other people get to define themselves. Completely bullshit. And yet here we are at this situation where, I mean, and you think about all the stuff that's out there. And let me circle around a little bit to this, that if we had a really good free market, right, we would be doing a better job of people's real ability to expand and control their lives and stuff like that. But we don't. We have this fucking managed economy. And because of that,
Mismanaged.
mismanaged economy, because of that, we have this bullshit where if you're a person of color, if you're a woman, if you are LGBTQI, whatever is the thing that makes you somewhat different, it is now socially acceptable for people to have conversations about, I don't like those people.
Yeah.
And
Well,
It's the other end of
it's
it.
one of the things that I've talked about previously is that we've had this ebb and flow, like in the 1920s, in the 19 teens and 1920s, you had this push. Like you had people like Magnus Hirschfeld, you had the Institute for Sexology that was pushing and had gotten recognition for trans folks and had started to push to be able to repeal, the anti sodomy laws that were there in the Weimar Republic. You had a push for, you know, equality for other classes, whether it was immigrants, or you had the push for votes for women. You had all of this that was happening at the beginning of the turn of the century, and then regressive, like the regressive tendencies that humans tend to have, just reared its ugly head, and it's every it has, and then something that is catastrophically bad.
I think part of that is economics, and that when there are times of struggle, that people tend to, well, not tend, but
They
they
want to
do.
blame.
They throw blame, and they want to blame everyone. And this administration has been masterful in othering people and saying, well, it's the Somalis, they're ripping people off. It's the trans kids
Yeah,
who
it's the
are,
Medicaid fraud in
yeah,
Minnesota.
yeah.
And
It's here in West Virginia, the governor's saying, well, they're taking a $200 voucher for clothing for underprivileged kids, and they're buying alcohol with it. There's no proof. There's been no proof offered by the governor that to wipe out this fund. But then we also have what is called Hope scholarships, where they can take $6,000 of their tax money and spend it on whatever the hell they want in the name of education. And a lot of times, it's not being spent on local education at all. So
listen,
this state is absolutely
cooking meth counts as education in West Virginia.
it does not count as education in West Virginia. That's just birthright. That's just birthright.
But so you talk about birth, right? Look at all the criticism that AOC is getting right now for freezing her eggs. Okay, unbelievable. Here we are with this supposedly pro-life party who wants to encourage women to have children, and
If
yet
they're
when
14,
exactly, yeah, that's probably what it is. They're like,
she's
you
too
know what?
old.
They're like, we'll give you
Yep.
a range from 14 to 28, and if you don't do it, then you're too old.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
And I've heard that criticism is that she's too old to be doing this because she's 36 years old.
But that's so stupid.
It
Listen,
is
they
stupid.
can examine the eggs.
Yes.
Okay, they know the quality of the eggs when they freeze them.
Yeah.
And like we saw, our friend Obbins talked about the fact, she's like, if you have a partner that you trust, it's better to freeze an embryo than it is to freeze an egg.
Yes.
And some people have issues with that. But if you really want to see population increases, let people do what they need to do to create their own families as they define them.
Well, and honestly,
You mean
let's
give women
raise the
options and choices
Yeah.
Well,
over this?
it's
I can't be trusted with this.
it's like one of the things that you tend to not hear about is that LGBT couples end up leading in adoption rates.
Mhm.
Like we tend to adopt those kids that get abandoned by other people,
well,
and
or not even that. It's
or
foster
foster
kids.
kids.
Yeah,
Mhm.
We
foster care here in West
foster
Virginia. is
we
awful.
foster at such a high rate. Like we are
Uh-huh.
way above like the percentage that cisgender heterosexual couples end up doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, again, if we actually opened up the market, like Aaron Sigler was one of the guys who was running in Louisiana under the LP ticket. Great guy. He's a doctor of osteopathy. He ended up saying that Louisiana should open up the ability of queer couples to be able to go and get into the foster system, to be able to open up that government program. And again, like being met with that in the 21st century, it's ridiculous that is not an option.
Yeah, no, it is. It's crazy to think about that. The last thing that I was going to touch on, we touched on quite a bit already, but militarily,
Yeah.
this administration has been an absolute disaster. And
It's
just we've touched on a couple of things in the Iran war as well. But seeing the news stories this last week about the USS Abraham Lincoln, people jumping off the ship,
Uh-huh.
people the pictures of the meals they're being fed, and them being out at sea for way too long, even though Donald Trump says they haven't been out at sea long enough.
They have no
our
Well, they don't
combat
have
readiness.
medical supplies to
Yes.
resupply anything.
They're running out of all
Um,
kinds of supplies
one
because
of the soldiers that died because there were no medical supplies to, like, maintain her life on
yes,
the way to the hospital.
yes,
Yeah.
So, you know, they are out of everything. No one ever signs up for this.
no.
Ever.
And that's the thing when it comes to military, when it comes to how our military has conducted itself, and this is not a criticism of our current military. This is the leadership that is inflicting this on our troops. The level, the our thought is they go into battle. If something happens, they have the treatment there to get them. We've got a whole cadre of injured soldiers that are back on U.S. soil now because they've had the best medical care to get them off the battlefield injured and back home and in a stable environment. They don't have that now. They don't have. They're running out of medicine. They're running out of weapons. They're running out of everything. And then to keep a ship sitting there in the Persian Gulf for 9 months without moving it and not resupplying it with quality stuff is an absolute travesty for people who serve this nation.
The people
It
who
pisses me off.
study, the people who study like history in the future, like particularly like this point in history, like there, I hate to put it this way, there's going to be a treasure trove of stuff that
God,
they're
yeah.
going to be able to find and to be able to go and look at and go and see the breakdown of a civilization.
I mean, I hope there really is a chronicling of it. I mean, in many ways, it is kind of like the fall of Rome. This
Well,
Yeah.
that's the
is
thing. Rome, nobody said Rome was falling. They just stopped repairing the roads and the bridges.
Yeah.
We have bridges that aren't going to be repaired until like 2030.
yeah.
I believe it's the Baltimore Bridge, maybe?
Yes.
The
Yeah,
the
Bay
Francis Scott Key.
Yeah. Ski.
Oh yeah, the Francis Scott Key.
I mean, I'll argue 496 and the fall of Rome to the Visigoths is a bellwater, but
So
they'd
fucking
started to fuck things. It's the fucking Goths. So my one last thing is I want to talk about El Sayed again. I don't know if you guys saw the interview where it was a British reporter, and he said, when I ask you, you forgive my language, but Donald Trump says that you're full of shit. And El Sayed says, at least I don't leave it in the Oval Office.
At least I can hope. Yep.
Oh, so people are complaining about the Great Switcheroo. So Donald Trump was in Turkey for a NATO summit and was supposed to leave, and the airplane was under some sort of threat, not really
Yeah.
well identified.
Uh-huh.
And they brought a food cart over to smuggle him off Air Force One and smuggle him
Catering
onto
truck.
another catering truck. Moved him over onto another airplane to get him out of Turkey. Now, doing this, he left behind his most cabinet
Stephen
members.
Miller.
I think all the cabinet members,
Yeah.
most of
JD
the
Vance still there?
staff.
The press.
He did. Marco Rubio. The one person he'd bring over was his 35-year-old muse. And I said,
You
some
mean his
people were like,
next wife?
His pacifier.
Trump pacifier.
That's
Maggie
I
Haberman
really,
called her the pacifier.
I've seen that in a couple of different places.
Yeah, Maggie Haberman called her the
Wait.
pacifier on the Sunday.
Susie Wiles.
No, the 35-year-old blonde lady. I can't remember what her name is.
Again,
but
his next
Carolyn
wife.
Levitt.
no, not Caroline Levitt, because Caroline Levitt resigned
Right.
when
Pretty close
learning-
after this to take care of her
as soon as
family.
this came out,
Yeah.
that Trump left her behind on a plane intentionally that might have been under threat. But they were complaining that this woman traveled with Donald Trump in the catering cart and got out of on a decoy plane and left everyone else there, including Marco Rubio. And I'm saying that when you shit your pants, you want an ass wiper and not an ass kisser. So that's why she went.
That's why she went.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's such a big clusterfuck. It's a good topic. We could go on for years about this.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're right, Dan. When you were said that every day is a what the fuck moment.
Studies. There are going to
And-
be doctoral theses about this administration.
Doctoral theses about his feces.
Yes. I was waiting for that myself. I wasn't rude enough to interrupt like you, Dave, but yes.
That was
I have no
fantastic.
filter.
Please
no
interrupt
filter.
away.
Yeah. It is though, because like, I mean, there's so many things that we didn't touch on, like, you know, the complete undermining of law and order with the Constitution, right? The Fourth Amendment, these flock cameras, ICE. We didn't talk about ICE at all.
No.
I mean, there's just so much stuff, and it's just, it's so terrible.
Like if
Yeah,
I had a
Well, I
dream,
guess we'll have to have
Izzy
another episode tomorrow night.
yeah, there you go.
Izzy
But I-
just got his glasses back.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you know, for me, if I had a dream presidential candidate for 2028, it's a complete technocrat that doesn't. I mean, like I can go weeks without thinking of. I wonder what the president. Will say.
Yeah.
Like, just leave me the fuck alone for a week or two, and not have to think about the fuckery that's going on in the White House. How we're being policed today, or how we're being policed tomorrow, and how people are being deported because we don't like the color of their skin or what god they worship to.
Let me ask you this though: is there anybody on your horizon who you think would try to diminish the power of the executive? Any party, not counting Joe Jorgensen.
No.
No, I mean that's the question I'm going to have to ask of people when
'Cause
they start campaigning. I'm going to be asking that of campaigns. Are you going to reduce some of the powers of the imperial presidency so that, you know, even if you get elected in 2028 and you serve all, let's say even eight years,
Yeah.
that somebody awful comes on the back end of your presidency, has those same powers, they're going to do exactly what Donald Trump did.
Because the thing is, right, as a president, you can veto legislation that comes through the Congress. But if you have these executive order authorities that take time to bring to court and all these other things, it's really a problem.
Yeah.
And you can make it, and a less than independent DOJ is a problem as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And
well, there's lots of reforms that we are seeing right now that we're like, we kind of need to codify this.
But it's funny because I can't imagine anybody. There's nobody on the Democratic side who is close on this.
It's early. Like I don't even know who's going to run. I mean, I've got there are the usual suspects that are going to run.
Right.
We may get a. I hate to use the example, but we may get a Jimmy Carter moment where some guy from that we weren't even thinking about.
Somebody we weren't even thinking about, but who had been governor of one of the largest states in the country.
Yeah.
Well,
but not at that point. But
Yeah, I mean Georgia was 12 electoral votes at the time. But the problem is that even in the progressives absolutely don't want to reduce the power of the imperial presidency.
No, they don't.
They want to expand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course they do.
All right.
Sucks.
Y'all ready for the quiz?
Let's do the quiz.
Let's do the quiz.
Amazing.
So many happy stories this week. Yeah. All right. A stellar spectacle, a White House shakeup, a massive jackpot. What do you remember from the week that was? I don't remember shit. All right. What celestial event did millions of people witness this week? I did witness this myself. Total solar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse, blue moon, or Halley's Comet.
You know, Bonnie Tyler sang about this. Total eclipse of the heart.
Total eclipse of the fart.
Yes.
Yeah. So correct. People over in Spain and North Africa were able to see the total eclipse. Some parts of England and Iceland were able to see the total eclipse. We got about 5% of the sun coverage.
Yeah. It
was still cool to see. A little slice taken out of the sun, but it didn't really darken us drastically here. Of course, with any celestial event, whether it's the whenever the aurora comes down this far south or anything else like that. Usually a lot of cloud cover, and we did have quite a bit of cloud cover. We had to fight through to see.
Also Trump's fault.
Trump's fault, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Completely.
Let's see. Question number 2. Who is set to leave her role as White House press secretary at the end of August?
Caroline Levitt.
Caroline's leaving
Caroline.
Caroline, leave it.
it. Leave it to Beaver.
Oh.
Yep. White House press secretary Caroline Levitt will leave her role at the end of this month.
Bye.
Trump announced Wednesday. Rumor is that Cersei Lannister will be taking over
Nice.
the new secretary. The imminent departure of one of the president's closest allies in the White House marks a major shakeup for the administration's press operation, with less than 3 months until the midterm elections, if we're allowed to have them.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, Caroline.
Caroline.
Oh
is pretty
God,
funny.
I like the one by Brandy, but yes.
Question number 3. Which state was the winning ticket for the $1.04 billion Powerball jackpot sold this week? Nevada, Florida, Idaho, or Illinois?
I have no idea, but
You
statistically,
be Illin.
Okay.
What were the states?
Nevada,
Nevada,
Florida, Idaho,
and
Illinois.
Okay.
Brandy's
You
saying
just
Know
Illinois.
Illinois.
that she chose to remain anonymous, wore a mask to pick up her shit. She's like,
Good
no.
job.
Good
She
job.
got a
yeah.
lump sum and said, "Fuck y'all, I'm out."
that is. I mean,
Deuces.
there's a lot of lawyers who specify specifically in saying, don't declare who you are. Come see us first. For a very small fraction, we'll set up all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And
No, I get that.
people
yeah.
people will tell you, a lot of lottery winners will tell you, it fucks your family life.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine all the people were
I already moved 18
That
hours
you-
away from mine. I ain't scared.
Yeah.
well, like people that you haven't talked to in 30 years coming in wanting you to
Fund my
invest in
business.
invest in their crypto. Like
Exactly.
No,
like
when
that.
I was poor and no now.
yeah.
Like,
Question number 4: Which part of which national park is being cleared for construction of President Trump's border wall project?
I mean,
Is it Yosemite? Is it Joshua Tree? Is it Big Bend? Or is it Yellowstone? And
Big Ben.
only
in
one of
Texas.
these. Yeah, only
Yeah,
one of
Big
these is
Bend.
actually on the border.
yeah. So I will say, if you've never been, Big Bend is amazing.
It's gorgeous.
There's a volcano that went off there a long time ago, and because it's in the middle of the desert, when clouds rise, they rain, and so inside of the caldera is this land of the lost, an ecosystem that is in the middle of the desert but has been supported by rainfall, and so there's animals there that aren't anywhere else in the world. Pretty
That's
crazy.
so cool.
It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
It's hard as shit to get to, though. It's
The
a 10-hour
speciation-
drive from Dallas.
It is. I mean, the size of getting anywhere in the West is so crazy. Like
Right.
just-
But you can't, because it's so remote, you can't even fly close to it.
no.
No, I took horseback in when I went out.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Bulldozers have begun uprooting trees and shoveling dirt in Benbeg National Park in Texas to continue work on the president's southern border wall. No word on whether Mexico is actually paying for it. The move has sparked protests from environmentalists and conservation groups,
Well,
as it should.
You know what's really stupid about it? So I hadn't heard about this, but when Ellie and I were there, we went canoeing down the Rio Grande, and we went.
Good luck
through-
doing that now.
Can't do
Well,
that
that's what I was
alone.
going to say. We went through a Class 2 rapid, and we had been through a Class 1 rapid, and Class 1 rapid is, somebody farting in the pool. That's it.
Yes.
Class
It's
2,
nothing.
it's not a, I don't know if it's an exponential system or whatever it was, but to make a long story short, we capsized the canoe. Okay, and we had a lot of stuff in it, and
It's not that
I-
hard to capsize in a 2.
It's not. It's not, and I mean, to this day we still argue over whose fault it was. But
Sure.
Mexico.
I was a former lifeguard. I did the side stroke, brought the canoe over to the Mexican side, and I like to say that with men, we are given 10 feats of great strength in our life. I used 2 of them to fucking get that water-filled canoe out of the water and bring it on shore. If I'd been smarter, I could have tilted it sideways and then pulled it out, but I wasn't being smart. I just felt like I had to be strong. Ellie actually swam over to my brother's canoe first. He's like, "You are not getting in here. You cannot get in here. Go swim over." So she swam over. She came over to me. And we realized, look, we're in Mexico. We have illegally crossed the border. What?
You made a border that doesn't
What?
exist anywhere other than people's minds.
The really funny thing about it was we looked, and on the ground, there was an extension cord that then ran into the river and ran over to the American side.
Okay.
I don't know where the hell it went to.
Was it connected to, like, were they pulling power from Mexico or pulling back power from
I'm assuming it's bringing power because, I mean, on the Mexican side, it's really desert.
Yeah.
So I assume it was taking it over there. We couldn't see where it went to, but it's just so stupid to think they're going to put that wall up.
Yeah. It's an absolutely asinine
Yeah.
Berlin Wall-esque
Yeah.
thing. It's embarrassing that we were doing something like that.
So embarrassing.
This
What
is the
does-
most. This is the stupid. I mean,
What does-
I don't like government to begin with. This makes me hate it even more.
Why does it say arrow on that guy's
ERO? I don't
jersey?
know. So which new technology is ICE considering for its agents? Robotic patrol dogs, electronic shock gloves, facial recognition glasses, or jetpacks?
I assume it's the shock gloves.
Shot gloves
Yeah,
that are actually technically not supposed to be used.
Oh, I'm sure they're not supposed to be used. There's got to be some kind of violation of human rights by doing that.
It is.
Because honestly,
is.
How many human
although-
rights do we have to violate before, like, we get grounded?
Well, I mean, honestly, I somebody was like, well, electronic shock gloves versus super soaker filled with pee, and that would be a great cell phone. Like somebody hits him with a super soaker, he's like, oh, I got pee on me.
So
Fire extinguishers apparently fuck them up.
just so one of the things about it is what they do, and I agree, it's completely inhumane. But they put it on the small of your back and charge, and you can't help it. You immediately put both your hands behind your back, wherever they are. And that's the rationale as to why.
Oh, do you think
they
that's
would
the
use
only application? Or
Have
Oh,
any
no,
of
that's-
you ever been tased?
I have. But it
I
was.
don't remember being like, oh, I'll comply. Like,
Oh, no.
I'm twitching.
Right.
Fuck.
and you
this-
think
Yeah,
they're going to do that? That's what I love about this.
No,
There's
no,
so many
I had just
complications.
been tear gassed when I protested in front of the IMF.
Yeah, no, this is. I mean, you can watch it if it's your jam. You can watch videos of this thing working. The way it's supposed to work, it's an interesting idea. I think it's completely illegal
It is.
because it is legitimately torture.
Yes.
But it is. You
It's-
put it in the space of.
Will I
ICE
use it on Donald
or
Trump?
whoever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you know that it's going to be abused like any other force that you give
Oh,
to
yeah.
government.
There's
And
going
so-
to be women that are shocked while they're raped.
Yeah.
And the guy's going to be like, oh, wow, that got me too. I wonder why. Because they're idiots. They're going to put it on somebody's throat. They're going to touch a fucking, pacemaker. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I hate ice. Can you tell?
Yeah, it's stupid.
No, absolutely. All right, question number 6. A boat carrying 14 people recently capsized near which landmark? Hoover Dam, Golden Gate Bridge, Gateway Arch, or Statue of Liberty?
It can't be Hoover Dam.
It's too damn
And-
dry there.
It's too dry.
Well, I mean, it could be on either side of the dam, but
Randy says
I
Liberty.
did not know that. I had
Yeah.
not heard the story.
no, I didn't
I
hear it
didn't know
either.
anything about this.
Gateway Arch would be tough because it has to be the Mississippi.
Yeah, I'm in the Mississippi. It's pretty calm there in St. Louis. So that would have been hard to sell as well. But yeah,
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably hard to
Like
capsize.
The New Orleans side, like in that Mississippi Delta, it's not that bad either.
yeah. But yeah, a boat carrying 14 people recently capsized near the Statue of Liberty, triggering a multi-agency search for the victims in the busy waters of New York Harbor. 2 people died, and the captain of the boat was arrested and charged with 13 counts of reckless endangerment. Wow. All right. This is, I would say, probably 10, 12 years ago, this would have been like super news that we would have heard about for days. And because of the administration that we live in, I didn't even hear this story at all. And I'm pretty plugged into news, but yeah.
6 months.
Question number 7. Roughly how long has the United States been at war with Iran during the latest escalation? 2 months, 6 months, 8 months, or a year? I think Dan answered it.
I don't remember.
I
Too
was
long?
distracted.
Too long?
It's been about
Release
6
the
months.
Epstein
It's
files?
February.
I think it's 6 months.
Yeah, it's
I think
February.
it's longer than that. but-
6 months of release the Epstein files.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
yeah.
it's August. We started in February.
Nearly half a year into the U.S.-Iran war, global oil stockpiles are rapidly diminishing as traffic
Only
through the
half a
Strait of
year.
Hormuz remains effectively stalled, and the two countries at the center of the hostilities argue about who controls the critical waterway. Iran controls the waterway at this point. Let's just be real about that.
Well, no, come on. It's
Be
not
real.
like a ship can go through there without
If
American
the United
sanctions
States,
as well.
I mean, if the United States, if it was a, let's say, an Emirati ship that came through and it managed to escape the missiles of the Iranians,
Yeah.
they wouldn't stop it. And they're, the Iranians.
Yes, but it's not like Iran can send their ships through.
No, Iran's not going to send their ships through.
Right. Nobody controls the straits.
Well, everybody. Well, you could say everybody controls the straits at this point because they're just not doing anything.
The United States and Iran have the capacity to deny passage to any ship.
Yeah.
And Iran just made a deal with Oman,
Yep.
which is sent me
man.
down. Yeah, it sent me down a very deep dive. This
It's fitting for the show.
about why Oman does not have a contiguous border, because the section of Oman that is on the Horn is, and I'd always thought this too. I'd always thought that the Horn of Africa was Ethiopia, but as it turns out, no. Ethiopia is the largest landlocked nation in the world.
It used to have a water border until Eritrea broke off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the UAE separates part of Oman from the mainland, the Horn.
There are a couple of exclaves, and there's the main one there at the tip of the
Yep, and as usual, it was Britain fucking everything up
Almendab,
that made that happen. Okay, I think it is Indianapolis.
Yeah, which state was battered by catastrophic flooding this week? New York, Utah, Texas, or Indiana? I believe it was Indiana as well. There was a derecho that rolled through.
I think there's like 6 days without power or something like that.
Yeah, in fact, it's still today they got more rain.
Still, yeah.
Yeah. Parts of Indiana saw 1 in 1,000 year rainfall. A rainfall event that sent floodwaters rushing into homes, forcing evacuations and rescues, and left roads impassable. I saw one, it looked like a highway that was completely washed out. So thoughts to the good folks of Indiana. Know quite a few people there that hopefully they're doing okay. I saw that Jared Hall posted that he was safe from the flood. So
yeah, I saw that
Sam
too.
Goldstein too.
Oh, good. All right. Question number 9: which NBA team sold for a record of $12.5 billion? Former Disney CEO Bob Iger and venture capitalist Josh Kushner, brother of Jared Kushner. Was it the LA Lakers, the New York Knicks, the Boston Celtics, or the Miami Heat?
It looks like purple and gold there, so I'm guessing it's the Lakers, but I have no
It is
idea.
the Lakers.
It is the Lakers.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Iger and Josh Kushner are buying one of the greatest trophy assets in U.S. sports, the Lakers. Josh Kushner is brother of President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. So I'm sure he earned all his money in the legitimate manner. All right, question number 10. Which soccer superstar got married this week? Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, Cristiano Ronaldo, or Erling Haaland?
I thought I heard Messi, but I don't know.
That's what I heard. I think let's wait for Brandy and see
I
if
mean,
she knows.
Was the wedding messy?
But I was going to say normally you hear about a messy divorce, not a messy wedding. But
Oh,
she says Ronaldo.
Oh, Ronaldo.
all right.
Ronaldo. Very nice. All right. We will go with Ronaldo. Yes, correct. Portuguese soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo and Georgiana Rodriguez tied the knot after 10 years. Oh, that was that picture that was at the top. So, all right. 10 out of 10. Yes, we did it again. Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you,
It's
Brandy.
it's 3 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, we got skills. Oh, Brandy's got skills.
Well, I was
along
going
for
to
the
say
ride.
Brandy, and then some of it's me.
Yeah, we're along for the ride. Yeah. All right. Well, it's been a fun show of the political deep dive. I really enjoy the discussion we had tonight. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Brandy.
And dumping
Thank
on
you,
Trump.
Craig. Thank you to all the people who watched tonight. Give us a like, share, subscribe wherever you're watching us from, and we will talk to you all in a week. Have a good one, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
All right.